Welcome guys to Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're gonna be talking about altcoins as much as we can, trying to figure out if altcoin season might be coming to an end. Is altcoin season over? We're gonna try to answer that question by looking at the charts here, and then we'll go over some of your requests here on the charts. We'll take a look at some of your favorite altcoins, and we'll take a look at some stocks. If you guys got some stocks as well. I got my my whiteboard ready to go, so that way we can go over whatever altcoins you're worried about or excited about. Maybe try to figure out what's a good trade to get into, that sort of thing. But yeah, we're starting off looking right now at Bitcoin dominance, currently at 58.2%. This number here on the right, and Bitcoin dominance has gotten beaten down since the beginning of July here, where we saw Bitcoin dominance as high as like 65%. And then after we had that stablecoin bill in July, it sent altcoins up to higher prices, and it caused Bitcoin dominance to drop like a rock, cutting through this 200-day moving average like nothing. Okay, then we bearishly back tested it once and then twice, and that was it. And then we knew that we were in altcoin season. However, look what's going on right now. We're trading a little bit sideways right now on the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, this is how we gauge whether or not we're in altcoin season, and Bitcoin is trying to catch some bids here. Okay, or at least Bitcoin dominance is trying to catch some bids here, and actually going up. It's gone up the last 3 days here, right? Today, yesterday, and Sunday. All right, and what I have for the oscillators here is I have looking at the RSI here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this for now, and I'll get rid of this and that. The RSI is showing higher lows here on Bitcoin dominance. However, we've been making lower. Did I say higher highs? I meant higher lows. We've been making higher lows here on the RSI, and we had lower lows here on the asset. In this case, Bitcoin dominance, right? So you have what we call bullish divergence. It means that Bitcoin dominance is done, or at least trying to prevent itself from going down anymore. Okay, let me just turn down the music just a little bit on my end. Okay, so we have bullish divergence. It probably means that altcoins are going to take a breather, and we're waiting for Bitcoin to give us some direction as to like what we're going to do next here for altcoin season. If Bitcoin starts going down in price, I'm expecting altcoins to go down as well, and altcoins might go down a lot steeper and further than Bitcoin, and then that's going to cause Bitcoin dominance to start going back up. Probably get back up to that 200-day moving average sitting above us at 62.49% of the total market cap of Bitcoin. We could have Bitcoin dominance get up to that level there. Okay, we are at a level, just keep in mind, we are at levels that we haven't seen Bitcoin dominance this low since like January, early January of this year, and that was, that felt like an altcoin season, right? But then we all know what happened in February, right? February didn't feel like an altcoin season because a lot of our altcoins started giving back their gains that they made in December and January. And then, Bitcoin dominance continued climbing up again all the way up into April. And then once we had, the pause on tariffs, that's when we got the altcoins had life breathed back into them. They got taken off the emergency room here and put into critical condition, but then Bitcoin dominance continued climbing up. It wasn't until we got the stablecoin bill that we had this, new found inspiration of altcoin season starting up again. But are we going to go back up again to 62%? I don't know, but we are kind of like in indecision moment right now. Okay, we could be just getting started with altcoin season, and we continue going down to lower levels here, where we might see Bitcoin dominance get down to the lows here in December, where we got down to like 56%. We're only 2% away from that. Okay. However, if we don't get the follow through here, where we keep pushing down on the dominance, then Bitcoin might actually decide to reclaim some of its market cap here, and could be good, could be bad. All right, because if Bitcoin dominance starts climbing back up again, not so great for the altcoin season that we're looking forward to having. However, if Bitcoin dominance is climbing up because Bitcoin is getting a lot of money poured into it, then that's not so bad either. Because that means those coins will try to catch up and go to higher prices with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's just doing it faster than the altcoins, and that's one reason why we might see Bitcoin dominance go up. Alright, another thing I want to look at here is USDT dominance. We kind of looked at this yesterday, but sure, why not look at it again? Okay, kind of see what's going on out there. USDT dominance is going to help us determine if people are scared or people are putting money to work in cryptocurrency. And right now, we have like an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which in this case would be bad for crypto coins, for cryptocurrencies, because it means people are scared. And if this thing launches up like it usually does play out on the inverse head and shoulder pattern, then we could see market cap dominance for USDT, US dollar tether, shoot up right back up to that 200-day moving average at 4.78%, and that's going to suck the money and liquidity out of cryptocurrencies, out of altcoins. So we don't want to see that either. Okay. What I have highlighted here from yesterday's chart work was we are also making higher highs here on market cap dominance. Back here on September 1st, we had a high of like 461. And over here on August 2nd, we had a high of 4.6. So slightly higher high, and we're also making higher lows. This could be considered the beginning of an uptrend on tether dominance, and you do not want to see that, because that means people are more afraid of the future than they are willing to invest their money in altcoins and cryptocurrency. So this is not good to see either. We want to see this get invalidated. We want to see tether dominance go down as well if we're going to get an altcoin season. The best case scenario is tether dominance going down, and also Bitcoin market cap going down, because then that money means it's flowing into altcoins. Right now, money is flowing out of altcoins. It's going into Bitcoin and it's going into tether, and we don't want to see that if we're going to be bullish on altcoin season here. Okay. So that's what I wanted to show you guys here in the charts. We'll eventually, I mean, we'll look at the price of Bitcoin, and we'll look at some of your requests here that you guys got. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here on TikTok. Ahmed said he sold all his XRP at $3.17. That might have been a good move. It's one of the better prices to be selling XRP. It's better than selling XRP below $3, I'll tell you that. Ahmed thinks we're gonna tank today. Alright, could possibly be a possibility. However, I also gauge people's bearishness. If I see a lot of people being bearish, then that probably means we're gonna get a surprise to the upside, at least in the short term. So if you're saying that must mean other people are thinking that as well, and there might be too many short sellers in the market, and then they'll come and start going after liquidity on the shorts if there's more shorts than there are longs. So we got to be careful with that kind of thinking as well. Mike Lane wants to look at Disney. Okay, we'll take a look at Disney. I want to look at Bitcoin first, and then we'll take a look at Disney. Okay. Yeah. So after I just looked at Bitcoin dominance and tether dominance, it makes sense for us to at least look at Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin needs to do to kind of change the story here on whether or not we're going to get an altcoin season or not. I need to see Bitcoin get up to 117,479. We had some tops here, and we also have some support at that area. 117,400, 500 area that I'm looking for in order for me to continue being bullish on Bitcoin and saying and agreeing with everybody else that Bitcoin's going to go to higher prices. Now, if Bitcoin comes up to 117,400 and gets rejected, or if we just continue bleeding out from where we are right now to lower prices, then yeah, Bitcoin's not going to do the thing that we need it to do and actually get up to 120K. This could be considered a lower high on the daily time frame, and we're probably going to see Bitcoin come right down to 109K, where we have some support on the 100-day moving average, and this is also where previous all-time highs and some sideways trading action is going to be. I think now might be a good time to start putting in a hedge short. You don't have to go fully in. You don't have to go full tilt, because the Federal Reserve might say some things tomorrow and do some things tomorrow that might cause the markets to go crazy, and we end up skyrocketing into your stop loss on your short. But now's the time to think about maybe shorting a Bitcoin around these high prices here, just in case this is the top for now. And if this is like another top here or a lower high, then you're ready to at least make some money as we go down to 109K and we see how we handle ourselves down here. Okay, but I'm expecting 109K Bitcoin if Bitcoin's not going to be bullish, and if we start losing all the progress that we made over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm expecting 109K thousand Bitcoin all over again here. Okay, and to the upside, like, the upside target, I'm looking for 117,400, but if we get back up to 117,400 and we start using this as support, we could launch up and get up to 120 or even 125K, maybe a new all-time high. Okay, it all depends on what we do when we get up to 170,400, if we even get up to 170,400. It's we're still trying to figure out if Bitcoin's capable of doing this. Okay, but let's take a look at Disney stock from my buddy Mike Lane. Thank you for the requests. We are talking about altcoins, but we can also talk about stocks here. So let's go ahead and look at one of the popular stocks out here, and that's Walt Disney. Okay, on the New York Stock Exchange. And we got Disney currently trading at $115, down 0.54% today. I'm looking at the daily chart for Disney. Disney looks like it's doing fine for now. Okay, I'm just trying to scroll out, zoom out. Looks like Disney had some really good days here back in 2021. I think that was when the park started opening up again, and they got a lot of money to start doing their business. And then also people were doing Disney Plus and subscribing because they had nothing better to do. Well, not that they had nothing better to do, but there wasn't really much to do because they closed things down in a lot of places, and people were just on Disney and Netflix the whole time. So Disney was able to make a lot of money around that time during the pandemic. But right now, just looking at what Disney's doing, Disney looks fine for now. You are above most of the moving averages except for the 21 exponential moving average, that white line. It looks like you're coming to test the 50-day moving average to see if you're actually going to get some support at $114.52. We'll see if that 50-day moving average gets respected and launches us up to higher prices here for Disney. If we lose that, then I would expect more support here at that 200 and 100 moving average, which is sitting at 109, 110 bucks. Could be another support area for Disney. Also, that $109, $110 is a range that we were at back here in May. You would think the people that bought here back in May would at least try to, or they wouldn't click the sell button until we lose $109 here on Disney, okay? Because they're at break even. And also, it's the same level that we were at back here in February and January earlier this year. So I'm thinking like $109, $110 is a good solid support area for Disney, okay? And you got the moving averages to help support you there as well. Let's see. I am going to do a Fibonacci measuring from the lows here in April to the highs here in July, just to see what the Fibonacci has to say about things for Disney. And you can see on the Fibonacci, we do have the 618 hanging out near $107 and the 65 hanging out $109. That's a golden pocket. That's a normal retracement. That's an expected level for us to hit and probably get a reaction. So I'm expecting $107, $109 to be a level that traders are eyeing who are using the Fibonacci. And also traders and investors who are using the moving averages are also going to look at that 200-day moving average. This is a good support area for Walt Disney if it does go lower. Okay. Now, if Walt Disney decides to go higher, okay, then we are looking at a 1272 that could put Disney at $136 in the future here at some point. And that might be an area where you might consider taking some off the table and selling some of your Disney stock. Let me just turn the music down a little bit more. And then we also got the 1618 saying $152 could be a possibility for Disney sometime in the future here. And I think that's a level that we haven't seen since we haven't seen $150 since January of 2022. So that is the level that we have been at for Disney, and that could be a target zone for you to get out of Disney stock and maybe put your money to work somewhere else, because we'll see how Disney handles itself when it gets to that level there. Let me go check out the YouTube chat here. I see John316's in the chat. And I see Steve Hickey. Hello, Steve. Hello. John wants me to hook him up. He loves my choice in woman, and he wants one himself. Okay. I appreciate that, and he's also calling me the Mac Daddy here. We had an interesting live stream yesterday where I showed a couple of girls that I went on dates with, and I think got the fellas here a little bit excited, and they want to know how to go on dates with those kind of girls too. Anyways, back to the live stream. We are looking at Disney right now. I don't have any more requests, so I'm going to start looking at some altcoins that I'm interested in myself. We'll take a look at SUI and AVAX, which I think if we're going to have an altcoin season, these are some good coins to be getting into. We got SUI currently trading at $3.60. Looking at the daily time frame here for SUI. Had some previous chart work for SUI. And $3.60 is a 618 golden pocket level that we're eyeballing right now. I'm expecting SUI to probably trade sideways a little bit in this area at 360 before we finally get some more conviction that we're going to the upside. And then I'm expecting some resistance here at $4 for SUI to the upside. Okay, before SUI tries to then make another play to go to higher prices at $4.44 like it did here in July of 2025. Okay. But if SUI does decide to go lower prices here, I mean, there is some confluence with the moving averages sitting at like $3.40. And then also you have the 337 level here, which is your 0.5 retracement. We've already come down to those levels. I think, yeah, we came down to that earlier today. We came down to 346 and, yeah, 346 on Monday. So we're kind of getting some support off of these moving averages already. And we're kind of front running them. We didn't even actually touch them either. We touched the 21 EMA and that's it. So SUI looking very bullish in my eyes. Could be one of the better cryptocurrencies to get into. Just a disclaimer: I own some SUI myself, so I want to see SUI go to higher prices. But I think you know, this is a good crypto for anybody. If somebody told me, "Hey, what's a good crypto besides Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana?" I would say check out SUI. It's got a lot going for it. It also has some developers that came off of Facebook, the team of Facebook. Facebook was actually trying to create a cryptocurrency like 4 or 5 years ago, and it got shot down by the by Congress and the government at the time. So Facebook decided to stop, you know, basically mothball that project. But the people who were working on that project came over to SUI and created SUI. So I think SUI has some smart people behind it, and I think the chart is trying to reflect the fact that SUI is one of the more powerful cryptocurrencies to be in. John316 wants to look at ZBCN and Kronos. I guess now is a good time to look at those cryptocurrencies because we haven't looked at those cryptos in a while, or at least since last week. So I can do that for you. I can do that for you. We'll look at Chronos first, and then ZBCN, and then we'll come back and look at AVAX. Alrighty. So yeah, downside targets for SUI if it does come down. Moving average support 337, and then you got the 200-day at 316. And I think that's as far down as SUI will go down, unless the market is just going down the toilet. Then yeah, then you know we'll probably break through the 200-day moving average and go to lower prices. All right, moving on to Chronos. Actually, I gotta show you this. I actually put these those cryptocurrencies on my watch list since you constantly keep asking me about it, John. I got Chronos and ZBCN right there. Okay. All right, so let's look at Chronos. Chronos currently trading at 23 cents, down slightly today. And Chronos just not doing what it needs to do for us to catch some bids here. It's just, this is looking weak and limp. You definitely don't want to show this to your girl, because this is not going to get her excited. If you know what I mean. You know, it's not going to get her excited about crypto if you show her this chart. But Chronos could get some support if it comes down to the 0.236 level here at 21 cents. As a level that I'm eyeballing for Chronos at this moment. And that's measuring from, you know, the swing low here to the swing high, where we got up to like 39 cents on Chronos. It's kind of what happens when you do a big impulse move here. Unless you're overly bullish and the market's also bullish, you kind of like slowly bleed out like you're doing here with Chronos. Sometimes it can be a violent sell-off and go right back to where you started, but this is like a nice slow bleed off. I'm trying to see if there's any moving average support. So there's not really any moving average support. There's just a Fibonacci level at 21 cents here. Okay. And is there any previous price action at 21 cents? It looks like there is. Back here in November and December, you had 23 cent Chronos in December 2024. About 23 cent Chronos in November 2024. So we're kind of already at some support. You would expect anywhere between 21 to 23 cents to be able to hold for us, because those were the tops back in December and November of last year. So I think those people who bought the top in November and December, they're kind of still in profit right now, but they're only at break even. So they're not going to click the sell button unless Chronos loses 21 cents. And then, yeah, we could probably come down to that 50-day moving average sitting at 15 cents here. And we'd totally lose this progress that we made here with Chronos. I wouldn't want to see that, because I know that would be very disappointing to see for Chronos investors here. But you gotta hold 21 cents, or else you're coming down to 15, in my opinion. Okay. Now, if Chronos is able to catch some bids here, we're gonna have to work our way back up to these Fibonacci levels here. You get the 0.5 retracement at 27 cents, could be a short-term target for Chronos. And then longer term, I'm expecting to at least get back up to 30 cents, where you got your golden pocket level sitting at for Chronos. Not sure if we're gonna get back up to 39 cents. Would be nice if we could. Okay, but I'm expecting for the most part 30 cents to be the target for higher prices for Chronos. And we'll just see how Chronos handles itself. Does it get rejected and come down to lower prices, make a higher low, and then go up? Do we slice right through it? Or do we kind of just like hang out at 30 cents? Creating hopefully some support for future price action. We'll see. We'll see. But right now, Chronos, you gotta stop doing this. We've had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bad days of red. Can we get a green day? I think we could. This could end up being a hammer candle. I would like to see this actually turn green. If we can get the price to start pushing up from where we are right now. This candle wick, you know, below us is showing that the buyers are coming in at these levels here. So this could end up being a reversal candle, which ends up being a hammer candle, and then maybe we get a green day tomorrow and a green day the next day, get you right back up to like 24 cents and then up to like 27 cents. We shall see. All right, so we're looking at Chronos, and now we'll take a look at the ZBCN. Actually, what am I doing? I got it in my watch list. I don't even have to do that. I don't have to type it in. I got it right here. ZBCN. Currently trading at 0.004 pennies right now, up 1.2%. I do got the previous chart work for ZBCN. I measured from the swing low here, around this area back here in May, and then got up to the swing high here, the impulse move. So ZBCN kind of looks similar to Chronos, right? Where ZBCN got up to like 71,300 roughly. And then, you know, ZBCN did the same thing that Chronos did, but it did it like a few months ago, where it just slowly bled off. We even came down to the 0.236 retracement. We even lost the 0.236 retracement, and this was looking pretty dire. I don't know if you remember this, John, but do you remember what it felt like in around 4th of July for ZBCN? And then we caught the bids with the 50-day moving average giving us some support here. And we were able to make higher lows, higher highs, and then we got the stablecoin bill that came into fruition, and that sent us to higher prices where we only made it up to the 786 retracement at 60,000, and then we got rejected. Okay, and we came down to the low levels. We came back to that 50-day moving average, got support, and then we came back up, made another lower high here at the 618 retracement. So that kind of hurt. And then we came back down, made a lower low, and now it looks like we kind of made a lower high here at the 0.5 retracement at 45,200. And I just don't know what ZBCN is going to do next. Okay, it could come back down and test the 100-day moving average for the first time. That it hasn't done that. I mean, we haven't been at the 100-day moving average since April. But I think the 100-day moving average could provide support at like 36,700 here. And if we continue to climb up to higher prices, then we'll see if we can revisit the 618 all over again at 50,000. I think 51,000, 53,000, that golden pocket level is a level for us to be looking out for here on ZBCN, because we could get rejected one more time. Hopefully make a higher low, and then launch up to higher prices. And then we'll have to see if we can get back up to 60,000 on ZBCN. So these are levels to look for: 50,000 and 60,000 on ZBCN. These are Fibonacci levels that have been respected. I think these are levels to be looking out for in the future here for ZBCN on the upside. John says ZBCN is going to be used for the NBA and NHL. That's cool. They got some customers. That's good. And I think I remember you saying that ZBCN is they are a payroll payment company or cryptocurrency that's involved in payroll. And that's interesting, because if that's the case, then they'll have a use case in the future, and they'll be around in the future as well. Chris wants to look at Cardano. He says it's not doing well lately. Okay. And Floater in here wants to look at Ethereum. Okay, I got you guys. We'll look at Ethereum first, and then Cardano, and then I want to look at AVAX at some point here. So I got you guys. And thank you guys for hitting the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, my TikTok guys, just double tap your screen. And my YouTube guys, you smash that like button. All right. Let's get the amount of likes to match the amount of people that are watching at the very least. All right, so we got to look at Ethereum, and then we'll look at Cardano. Ethereum currently trading at 4,461, comfortably above almost all the moving averages, because Ethereum had such a great couple of months here in July and August, where we launched up from like $2,500 all the way up to like 4,900. So, you know, now's the time for Ethereum to kind of like chill out, consolidate a little bit, and that's what it's been doing. But if Ethereum starts catching the bids and we actually get an altcoin season and Bitcoin's making new all-time highs, then I'm expecting Ethereum to at least get back up to $4,800. And then we have a 1618 saying that we could see Ethereum get up to like 5,800. That's the target I'm looking for. It makes sense because some people might be anxious to sell their Ethereum before it hits 6,000, and some might not even think it might even hit 6,000, so they'll start clicking the sell button when it gets to that area there. Wouldn't surprise me if it does that. To the downside on Ethereum, on the daily time frame, you don't have if you lose your support here that you created at $4,200, you know, the sideways trading action that we got here, then you might have to come down to that 50-day moving average sitting at the 3,500. And that 3,500 is confluent with the 786 retracement at $3,553 here. So I think $3,500 is your long-term downside target for Ethereum. If you lose 4,200, look out below. Okay, you could come down to that level. And this is also a level, 3,500 is a level where you were trading at back here in July for a little bit before you launched up to even higher prices on Ethereum. So I'd be on the lookout for 3,500 if we lose 4,200. Okay. Moving on to Cardano. Cardano chilling out here at a little bit under 87 cents here. I think last time we looked at this, we said that 85 cents is a crucial level for it to hold. Looks like we're kind of doing that right now. As I zoom in, I got a Fibonacci that's showing that the 786 retracement on Cardano is at 85 cents. And also we had a 21 EMA, this white line, chilling out at 85 cents. And that's where they took it down to yesterday. They took Cardano down to 85 cents as the low for the day. They even did that today as well. Cardano at 85 cents. So you got the 21 EMA and the 786 retracement showing that this is your support for now for Cardano. And you like to think that if Cardano's going to catch some bids and we get some good news tomorrow about Federal Reserve, interest rate, and the economy, then maybe we can start seeing Cardano get back up to that 93 cent level like it was at back here in July 21st. And then maybe try to go up to higher prices where we could see like 1272 fib extension at $1.04. That is your upside target for Cardano for now. And then you got a 1618 saying Cardano could get up to like $1.18. But you said that it doesn't look so good lately. And that's mainly because we got this lower high possibility here. If this is a lower high compared to this lower high and this other high here back in August, then the bearish case starts to become more convincing that we're going to go down to lower prices. And if we go down to lower prices, then yeah, Cardano could come down, break through 85 cents and come down maybe to the 618 at 78 cents. You had a bounce off of that level. You expected that to the T here on September 1st. But maybe Cardano comes down there and makes a double bottom at 78 cents, that golden pocket, before we launch off to higher prices here. We shall see. That's just using Fibonacci levels here. That's also using the previous higher low here. But if we lose that low, then it becomes a little bit dicey that Cardano is not actually bullish anymore, and you only have your moving average supports below you. The 200-day sitting at 73 cents could be at the next level where we have to try to get some support for Cardano. So there's a possibility here that Cardano right now, we could come down to the golden pocket, lose 10%, or we could come down to the 200-day moving average and lose about 15% on your investment here. So just keep that in mind as you're staying invested in Cardano, that there's a possibility that you could lose 15%, and it might just be a normal pullback before we go up to higher prices. All right. Alec MacLeod is asking me, where does a person start in this? Alec, if you're new to TA, I do have some tutorial videos that I made explaining how to use some of these indicators here. Let me go into TikTok, because you're on TikTok right now. I did recently made a tutorial video here on the Fibonacci video here. Okay, so this is a video that I made on how to use the Fibonacci tool.
Welcome to the
and how to trade using the Fibonacci
at like 100
an $8,000 Bitcoin. So this might be a good video for you to get started with. And I appreciate you following me, which was right Alex. Here, thank you. $67,000. Okay, so this is a good video to look at. And then I also have another video explaining how to use the VRVP indicator. It's a little bit further down. You have to go down to this one that has like 1,500 views here. And this is my video on how to use the VRVP indicator. It's going to shoot up to the point of control. Okay. The point of control acts like a magnet. It's going to magnetically attract. And that's another good video to learn more about how to use the indicators here. And then I don't know if I actually put up my video for how to read candlestick chart patterns, but I know I have it on YouTube. Let me just see if I can find that real quick here on my YouTube channel. So if you come find me on the YouTube channel, Meet Damien, okay? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, subscribe if you can. And if you click on videos here, you can find my tutorial videos on how to use the Fibonacci, how to use the VRVP indicator. And then I also got a video here on how to read a candlestick chart pattern and how to read the RSI MACD and the stochastic RSI indicator, okay? So this is another good video on YouTube that I get into how to read these charts here and how to use these indicators below us. Okay, so that might be worth taking a look at when you get a chance. I made some tutorial videos for you guys. All right, on YouTube and TikTok. All right, let's get back into the charts here. I wanted to look at AVAX. Let's take a look at the Avalanche, see what Avalanche is doing for us here. Shrek is asking, is alt season over? It could possibly be if we get some bad news tomorrow. If the Federal Reserve doesn't lower interest rates when the whole market's expecting us to lower interest rates, that could definitely be the end of altcoin season, the end of the markets, and then there'll be a lot of pissed off people. Donald Trump will tell Jerome Powell that he's going to get fired and all that stuff. But also, if they give us like a hawkish, cut, even if they do cut interest rates, but they say that they're worried about inflation more so than the job market, that might not be good for altcoins and for the stock market as well, because it means that we might only get one interest rate cut and then they kind of like go back to pause again. So the market's not going to like that language either. We need to hear them say something along the lines of, we're cutting interest rates, we're worried about the job market at this point more so than inflation. Inflation's transitory. We're still looking out for inflation, but right now we're more worried about the jobs market and a possible, well, they probably won't say recession, but we're worried about weakness in the jobs market, which is them basically saying we're worried about a recession. Okay, if they could say that, then the market will probably, and if they could forecast that there's a potential, or even just give us a hint that they're going to cut rates again in October as well, then that would send the markets up to higher prices, and altcoin season could still be in play here. All right, but there's a lot of what ifs going into tomorrow that, just prepare yourself in case we don't get what we want, in case the market doesn't like what they hear. And, I would probably put your stop losses in just in case you don't have to lose too much money if the market doesn't go our way here. Anyways, we're looking at Avalanche, currently trading at $30.03, up 0.74% today, so looking good. AVAX is looking very good. It's above all its moving averages. You're clearly in a bull run or an uptrend. You're making higher highs compared to what you did in previous months here, and you're also making higher lows. You broke out of this symmetrical triangle here to the upside, and you did it in a convincing fashion. You went up like 13% in one day, I think, last week. So congratulations to Avalanche investors for making it up to higher prices here. Now, I did have a Fibonacci that I think is still useful here. We measured at $27.39, which is the high here back here in July. And we have a 1272 fib extension that says that it wouldn't be surprising to see Avalanche just chill out here at 30 bucks. And that's kind of like what we're doing right now, is just chilling out at 30 bucks. We went up to like 31 bucks on Saturday, but that was only for a brief moment before we came back down to 30 bucks and 11 cents to close out the day here. So this is a level that is still, I think, useful to use on the charts here, because you've got a fib extension saying that this potential resistance at this area. But if we're able to continue climbing up to higher prices on Avalanche, we could see the 1618 at $34.66 give us some resistance at that level. And that $34.66 level is confluent with some of the previous price action where we were at like 34, 35 bucks here on Avalanche in January earlier this year. And the people that bought here, they're underwater right now. But if Avalanche gets up to like $34, $35, they're probably they might say, you know what, I'm gonna click the sell button and take my money elsewhere, because I just want to break even and get out of Avalanche. So don't be surprised if Avalanche sees some more resistance at 34, 35 bucks in that zone there. Okay. So I think those are your upside targets for now on Avalanche. Downside target, we did make this impulse move, and we could come down just as fast as we came up. But you got the 21 EMA saying that you should be targeting $26. If Avalanche does start coming down for any reason, we could get some support off of that white line, the 21 EMA. All right. Then there's also the 786 retracement at 24 bucks, 24.87 here. Could also provide some support for Avalanche. So basically, 24, 25 bucks to like $26 is a good area to scoop up some cheap Avalanche. If Avalanche does drop down for any reason here, you might be lucky enough to get some cheaper Avalanche in that zone there. All right. Chris Cook is saying too late, Powell. Yep. And then Kami Wami wants me to look at SNYR. And then Chris Donners wants to look at Volt. Made you some good money today. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear someone out here is making some money. All right, so we gotta look at SNYR. I'm not even sure what that is. And then Volt. And we have somebody here from the UK, Cornwall, UK, saying you're watching all the way out there, and you've been out all day, and you're trying to figure out what the charts are doing. Right now, let's see, Bitcoin is steadily climbing up to higher prices here, but I'd be very careful. It might actually be time to start thinking about putting in a head short on Bitcoin. Just in case we get rejected off this $117,400 level, I would definitely consider putting in a short at that level. And tight stop loss in case you're wrong. And if you're wrong, then maybe Bitcoin pushes up to like 120K, 124K. And then you could try to put another head short just in case Bitcoin gets rejected off 120, 124K. Then you got yourself pretty much like a double top here on Bitcoin. All right, but Bitcoin looking fine for now. But just be ready, with a head short if you're day trading it. Okay, moving on to SNYR. Let's check that one out. Synergy on the NASDAQ. Okay, so we got a stock request here. And Synergy currently trading at $2.22 right now. Trying to zoom out. I never looked at this chart before, so I'm just trying to see what it's done in the past. It's looking like one of those altcoins, okay, in like cryptocurrency world. This is not how you make money unless you're shorting it, okay? If you're shorting it, you're making money. This thing looks like it's getting ready to go to bankruptcy. It's just not good. It's a pharmaceutical company, all right, in health and technology. Looks like you had a bad earnings report on April, decent earnings report in May, and another decent earnings report just now in August. So those good earnings report or decent earnings reports are kind of helping this prop up the stock for now. You got rejected off the 200-day moving average, and you're below all the moving averages right now. However, could you work with this? Could you be catching the bottom here on Synergy? If that's, I'm assuming if you're asking about this, you're trying to invest for the short to, well, maybe the long term, the medium term here. I want to see if there's bullish divergence. I'm pretty sure there was some bullish divergence at some point here. So looking at the RSI right now, and you got the lower lows here on the price, but you're also creating lower lows on RSI, so not really bullish divergence. And then when you caught some bids here in June, yeah, sure, you actually went up in price, but you also went up in the RSI as well. So I don't really see bullish divergence, but could this possibly be a double bottom with the RSI at 27 and RSI here at 25 roughly? What I do see, believe it or not, is funny enough, I do see hidden bullish divergence possibly here. You have lower lows, right, on the RSI, but you have higher lows here on the price. What that shows is that the sellers here, you know, they did damage, right? And they pushed the price down, and the RSI got down to like 27 in April. And then they tried doing it again here in August, where they pushed the price down, and they did it a lot more vigorously than they did here in April. But they weren't able to push the price down to what the price was in April. They actually made it a higher low here. This tells me that you can actually be bullish on Synergy with the hidden bullish divergence here. Hidden bullish divergence, you usually see that when you're in an uptrend and when you're in a bull market. This thing has been kind of like in a bear market, so it's very interesting to see that you're getting hidden bullish divergence after kind of bottoming out and being below the 200-day moving average. This is weird in my opinion, but still, I mean, it's still bullish. It's a start. So you just want to make this higher low and then come up and make hopefully a higher high than what you did here in August, where you got to like $3.94 here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes back up, gets rejected off the 200-day moving average one more time. The 200-day moving average sitting at 324. I'd be thinking about selling this the stock when it gets up to $3, because you got the 200-day moving average that could push you down. You also get the 100-day moving average that could possibly cause some rejection, and the 50-day above you. But if you get past the 50 and 100, then I would expect the 200 possibly giving you some problems here, until it no longer gives you problems and it becomes support. But this could be the beginning of bottoming out here for Synergy, possibly. And then you can just put your stop loss right below the low here, the higher low, at like $1.95. You're not really risking that much. And let's see, if we just plan this out, right, where we got our stop loss right below the higher low, you're only going to be risking 11%. But then you're going to try to plan on selling near the 200-day moving average at 324. You're risking 11% to get a 47% gain. And your risk reward ratio is at 4.2. Anything above 3 is actually a good risk reward ratio. So this thing is worth taking a shot going long here. And you're targeting that 200-day moving average. Even if you only go up to like the 100-day moving average. Well, if you go to the 100-day moving average, it's not that great. The risk reward ratio is at 2.48, so not that great. But getting back up to the 200-day moving average at $3.24 here, you got a nice risk reward ratio for that trade right there. Okay, so I think it's worth giving a shot going long on this asset here. I wouldn't try to go short because you don't really have that much upside, and you got a lot of risk that you could get stopped out. And there's no guarantee that you're actually going to go to lower prices here, because you could be creating a higher low. So I like the idea of trying to go long on this asset. Just for a quick scalp, swing trade. I wouldn't be long-term investing in it unless you totally believe in this company. But I think you can get back up to $3, sell it, and you got yourself like a 47, almost a 50% gain from where you are right now. All right, let's take a look at Volt. Is Volt a stock or a crypto that you want me to take a look at? I'm assuming you're talking about crypto. Just want to double check. Who requested Volt? Chris Donders. Are you talking about Volt cryptocurrency? XVM, you say? All right. Let's see. XVM. Where's the M? Come on. Is that a misspell? Because now I have XVM and it doesn't really show anything here. Oh wait, XVM Volt on Bitmart. That's like the only exchange I can find here. Is this a brand new cryptocurrency? Because I don't have much data. I don't know what I can do with this. This thing looks like it started trading on this exchange last week. So I've nothing I can really do for TA. I don't got that much data to work with here. Only thing I can really do is just do a Fibonacci. Measuring from the top to the bottom here. You are obviously at the 0.236 retracement right now is where you retrace back up to. And you would expect at some point, if you're gonna get a normal retracement, you would get back up to 618 at 3.5 cents here for Volt. Chris Donda says it's a new real world project on the XRP. Yeah, so if it's brand new, there's not much TA I can do. I could probably look at the 1 hour chart, maybe I get some moving averages to help us figure things out here, but yeah, on the 1 hour chart, the moving averages are just starting to show up here. Like the 200 moving average is just starting to show up. The 100 moving average has showed up on Sunday, and then the 50 moving average is also showing up here back on Friday. And this is just looking at the 1 hour time frame. Looks like it kind of bottomed out here. Had like a double top, a double bottom at 900, just below 1 penny. Higher low, but eventually you want to see if can you get back up above this last lower high here at 2 pennies. I think targeting 2 pennies is a good target for now for XVM. And Fred, if I have to look at something on Deck Screener, I'm not going to be able to look at it because TikTok doesn't like that. TikTok will shut down the live stream and because they'll think I'm over here talking about scams. So I can't look at something if it's on Deck Screener. I can do it for YouTube. YouTube doesn't care. But TikTok, they think I'm talking about scams when I go on Deck Screener. Yeah. Max Payne says, are we seeing all-time high soon? If the SEC, you mean the Federal Reserve, is cutting rates? Yeah, it's not the SEC. I'm not sure what you mean by SEC. But the Federal Reserve might be cutting rates tomorrow, and maybe they cut on October as well. That'd be good to see as well. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Double tap that screen. Let's try to see if, try to show TikTok and YouTube that we have a good live stream here going. You know, with the music and the good TA. And hopefully I'm able to entertain you guys when I'm able to. I see Kami has joined. Good to see you, Kami. And let's see, Chris wants to look at ICP. I think we looked at that yesterday, but I'll see if anything changed. All right. ICP currently trading at $4.73, up 1.39% today. Let me get into the daily time frame here now. Oh, we were trying to plan things out here on ICP, right? We had a long position here, and I think we had a stop loss, right? We said the stop loss should be like somewhere near $4.58, below the low here on September 1st. And your game planning, you're trying to take this long, at least back up to what you did here on August 14th when you got up to like $6.08. That gives you a nice 29% gain, but you're only risking 2%. And your risk reward ratio is at 13. I think ICP might be worth getting into. However, you know, you might not be able to push it that high. If the 200-day and the 100-day are acting as resistance, then you might get cut down somewhere over here. But your risk reward is still good, right? Your risk is only 2%, and your reward is still about 12%. Slap on some 10x leverage, and that's about 120%, and you're only risking about 20% to try and get 120%. So I think that could be. I think ICP is in a good risk reward area. You can strategize and plan your stop loss pretty tight, and you're just hoping to launch up to higher prices here for ICP. Could see $6 or $6.30, but you could also see possibly like $5.27 with that 200-day moving average sitting at. Somebody without a name here, just a bunch of cool guy shades face here. He is asking me, do I hold Pudgy Penguin? I don't hold Pudgy Penguin. I'm thinking about possibly getting some spot bags in Pudgy Penguin. I've been day trading Pudgy Penguin. I've been doing like leverage trades, like 10x, 20x longs on Pudgy Penguins every now and then. Hicks says that there's so many 3 white soldier weekly patterns on the altcoins. That's interesting. Can you give me one that that you know for sure, and we can take a look at the chart for one of these altcoins that has a three white soldiers? And then Hicks says 10, 100, 2x moves are incoming. Possibly. Then you say only centralized exchange stopping price now. Watch many coins market cap to fully diluted value. It's 3 to 4x more than. Using a lot of acronyms here, but I'm not sure what MCA means. Yeah, Hicks, you're using so many so many acronyms here. You're saying market cap to fully diluted value. Chris Cook wants to look at Near Protocol. Excuse me, guys. Let me clear my throat. All right. So I guess we'll take a look at Near Protocol for now. Yeah, ICP I think looks good. Risk reward is great. The risk is low. Reward is pretty high. Let's go into Near Protocol. Near Protocol currently trading at $2.72, up 3.8% today. Not bad, not bad. Near Protocol also has been making lower highs here, lower highs here. However, it's making higher lows, and it's trying its best and darnest to get above the 200-day moving average, which it has done. Okay, and when it did that, you know, it didn't do it in a full convincing fashion before it came back down, and it looks like we're trying to retest the 200-day moving average sitting at 255. It came as low as 258 today and 257 yesterday. So maybe traders are front running the 200-day moving average and trying to send this thing up to higher prices here. And if we do go to higher prices, I have marked $3.37 as a level to be looking out for here. This is a level that we got up to back here in May, earlier this year. And it's a level that has acted as resistance in February. Almost support here in September 2024. And also resistance here in February 2024. So I think 337 level to look out for. Let me just confirm that. If I do the VRVP, it probably shows that up on the VRVP indicator. And you got the VRVP indicator, and yeah, I marked this off because I saw a high volume node here at like 340, 337 here. So I think that's your target for near protocol in the future. Just using the VRVP indicator here. Interestingly, you have the point of control kind of like right where we're at. Yeah, if I zoom out here, point of control kind of sitting. Well, it depends on how much data you're using. But a lot of resistance, kind of like right where we're at with near protocol. Once we get past like $2.80, the volume starts to drop off in the VRVP, and this thing could shoot up to like $3.20, no problem. And then 335, probably gonna be some significant resistance in that area for near protocol. Let's see, downside. What's the downside case here for near? Downside is that we could come down to the moving averages below us, but it's not too far away. Around like $2.55, $2.58 could be a good area to buy some cheaper near protocol. You can put your stop loss below the 50-day moving average, that green line, at below like 250, so maybe like 245 or whatever. And you're just hoping that this thing launches up to higher prices. If you lose the 50-day moving average, then there might be something wrong with near protocol, and you don't want to stick around to find out, do you? Because we could be making lower highs, and then we could also be making lower lows if we lose that 50-day moving average. And then you're in a long-term downtrend if that's the case. Let's see. Hicks says all SUI ecosystem will explode. Deep Cetus. New Doge is Hippo. Main talking all this crazy talk here. SUI only 21 million. Oh, so Hippo is a meme coin that's only has a $21 million market cap. So you really love your meme coins, I'm assuming, and you're very dialed into the cryptocurrency space here. If you're over here talking about meme coins on SUI. You also said Hicks. He said every cycle got a new main layer 1 and a main meme coin. Last time it was Solana and Bonk. Now it's SUI and Hippo. Interesting. What about Pudgy Penguins? Pudgy Penguins is doing pretty good for meme coins in 2025. Cientrus is asking, why is altcoin season over? And then Kami wants to look at the ACA. And then we have a request here for SATs. Alright. Altcoin season is kind of like chilling out for now, based on what I see with market cap dominance. So there's a possibility that it could be coming to an end. What would seal the nail in the coffin for altcoin season is what happens tomorrow with the Federal Reserve. If the Federal Reserve doesn't cut interest rates, what do you think is going to happen to these altcoins and cryptocurrencies that have run up over the last few weeks? They're most likely going to drop down in price, and that would be the end of altcoin season as we know it right now. Okay, I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, you never know. They could say inflation's still a problem and not lower interest rates. The other thing that could also mess things up is if they lower interest rates tomorrow but they don't give any hints that they're going to actually lower interest rates again in October. If they give us like a hawkish cut tomorrow, where they cut interest rates, but they say we're still worried about inflation, then that could also cause the markets to drop. Even though we've gone up significantly over the last couple of weeks, the market might be on edge, like, oh, they only cut rates once and they're only going to do it once for this year, and that could cause, you know, altcoin season to come to an end right now. So that's the main reason why I think altcoin season might come to an end. It all depends on what they do tomorrow with the Federal Reserve. But also, I was looking at Bitcoin dominance. Let's see, let's go back to Bitcoin dominance here. Bitcoin dominance is currently at 58.22%. Okay. However, if you look at the RSI on Bitcoin dominance, you are making higher lows here after making lower lows on market cap dominance, and this is a bullish divergence for market cap dominance. Not sure what this means exactly, but it means most likely that Bitcoin dominance is going to go up, not down. Okay, or at least it's done going down for now. It might go sideways, could always be a possibility here. Okay, but market cap dominance is not going down like it did over the last couple of months here, where we had, you know, basically the stablecoin bill helping altcoins launch up to higher prices here. We need like another catalyst to kind of launch us to higher prices for altcoins. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is creeping up, and you got the bullish divergence here. There is a possible catalyst for next month. If they start approving the altcoin ETFs, then that maybe causes the altcoin season to continue on and go to lower levels here. But just keep in mind that right now on Bitcoin dominance, we are at the same levels that we were at back here in January. Okay, and then Bitcoin dominance spiked up in February, and we all know how bad February and March was this year for altcoins. You know, does that happen again here? You know, does that cause an end to the altcoin season? I don't know. We'll see. I am not a psychic medium. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, but I don't. All I got is my phone here for TikTok, and I got the charts to help me figure things out. But yeah, I mean, there's still a possibility that altcoin season could continue on going into next month with lower interest rates. And if they talk about lowering interest rates again, and they actually lower interest rates in October, and then we get altcoin ETFs like XRP and Solana, HBAR, and some other ETFs, Dogecoin as well, then yeah, you'll have an altcoin season continue on going into the end of this year probably. But we're on edge right now. Market's on edge. That's why you know, we're looking at the charts here, and we're trying to plan for the possibilities here. All right, things could still not go our way, and we might see the end of altcoin season. I'm not saying that it's a certainty. I'm just saying right now we're getting bullish divergence, and they're saying that altcoin's gonna take a break for now. All right, we gotta look at ACA and then SATs. ACA. Is ACA a stock or is that a crypto? I'm assuming a lot of my guys asked for crypto, and we do have an ACA crypto. So I'll look at that one unless you say, no, Damien, look at the stock. But yeah, we'll look at ACA crypto. Probably on Kraken Exchange. Let's see how that's doing. So ACA currently trading at 0.028 pennies. Up 1% today. And what do we got? What do we got? Yeah, what do we got? What do we got? As I start to zoom out, this crypto obviously seen better days in November and December of last year, when we had a little bit of an altcoin frenzy or mini altcoin season going on. And what have you done? You kind of like you bottom out here in June. Okay. Still on the oscillators here. Yeah, I see lower lows here on price. and you got the higher lows here on the RSI. So you got your bullish divergence here on ACA back here in June and April of earlier this year. So you had your bullish divergence on this one. That's the beginning of trying to bottom out. At least, you know, a lot of assets that I've seen, you got to get that bullish divergence start to show up to prevent the price from going down. So we've gone as low as 2 pennies here, 0.021 pennies on June 22nd. That was right after America dropped bombs on Iran. Okay, gave people a good scare there. And then we've created higher lows. So that's good to see here. Trying to create higher highs here, but I don't know if I like this. Like, you got these little scam wicks here. You got above the 2-day moving average, but that was not even, you didn't end the day above the 2-day moving average. And then every time you try to get up to the 2-day moving average here in August, you got rejected. So this 2-day moving average is still acting as resistance. Right now it's sitting at 3 cents. So I'm thinking, like, you know, 0.031 pennies is a good, if you're day trading it, that's a good day trading target, and short-term swing trading target. I would not get bullish on this asset until we actually get above the 2-day moving average and start using it as support rather than resistance here. But after you use it as support rather than resistance, then you got to get above like the last significant high here in May at like 4.5 cents here. This is also an area that you traded sideways at. So I think going forward, if you ask about this crypto in the future, let's see if we actually make it up to 4.5 cents. That's your long-term swing trading target here. And I see, you know, another target here probably at like 6 cents is where you were trading at back here in September, October of 2024 before you launched up to higher prices. It came back down here in February at around like 5.5, 6 cents here. And I bet you if I turn on the VRVP, it's going to agree with me with on these levels. Yeah, let's see. You got a high volume node here on the VRVP at like 6 cents. So I marked that on the chart for you. 6 cents is another take profit target. And if you do that, you basically doubled your money. And I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but I would be clicking the sell button myself if I double my money in any of these assets from where they are right now. So 6 cents and 4.5 cents. Looks like some good areas for some take profit on this asset here. Kami thinks ACA could go to 25 or 35 cents. Wow, that's a pretty sky high target there. Has it actually been that high? Just out of curiosity. Let me go ahead and lock this. I'll lock this for future reference here. These targets, but let's see. We have been as high as like 23 cents here in March of 2024. Oh wow! And then even like, Kami, can you tell me like what this thing does? Because it has seen better days. This thing looks like a trade on Kraken Exchange back in like 2022. It was trading as high as like $1.74. Definitely looks like an altcoin to me. You lost like 99% of your value. Such a shame, right? But I mean, could you be catching the bottom here? I don't know. Maybe. What does ACA do? Does it have a use case? Because if it doesn't have a use case, then I don't know if it's going to get back up to like 30 cents. Constantino is saying all in on Pepe at like 1100 and 1200. Yeah, Pepe is an interesting crypto for us. It's a meme coin that I think is going to be around for a while, just like Dogecoin. But, I mean, is that a request? Do you want me to take a look at Pepe? We're going to look at Sats next. on Mexi Exchange. Let's take a look at Sats. So we're looking at Sats right now. What kind of price is this? I'm just gonna say 407 for now. Okay. Sats currently trading at 407. It has seen better days here, back here in March of 2025. You got a high volume node here on the VRVP. Target could be 12,400. I'm just measuring this out here on the charts here. That's a long-term take profit target there. More likely for now, as we zoom in using the VRVP, you got a value area high at 548, so that's probably another take profit target that you should be looking for. And that's also kind of where the 200 moving average is sitting at, 546, 548. So I'd be targeting, for the day traders and the swing traders here, 548 on Sats. You got confluence here with the VRVP and the 200 moving average. You got a white line here, that's your value area high, and you got a red line here, that's your 200-day moving average. Saying at 548 should be an area that you should sell this if it does go up to that price. Right now, just looking at the VRVP as I start to zoom in, you got the point of control below you at 382. That could be a good area of support if we do come down to that level. We actually did come down to that level today, actually. If I start zooming in here on that VRVP, yeah, you already came down to that 382, 380 level here. Came down as low as 384. And then yesterday you came down to like 377. So that is your level to be scooping up some cheaper Sats if you're able to do so. And then you got a little bit of gap here in the VRVP. You got some resistance here at 411 and some more resistance at 443. I'm sorry, 4,443. I'm not sure if I'm reading these numbers right. But yeah, this looks like we're right now at 4,067. I'll be targeting, if you're day trading, 44,000. I think that's like a 10% move up in price from where you are right now. Let me just quickly measure that out. Yeah, it's like a 10% move up in price. So that'd be my day trading target there. Mentor wants to co-host. Sure. Oh shit. I try to say yes to that. Chris Cook, you asking about ASI, Artificial Super Intelligence. You got all the coins here, Chris, huh? Well, look at all of them. But yeah, let me just finish up here on Sats, and then we'll take a look at ASI. And Constantino didn't really say if he wanted me to look at Pepe. So I'll just skip over that for now, and we'll go right to Artificial Super Intelligence. Alright. So yeah, I think downside target is very small for Sats. You get your value area low at 3,619. That's where you can scoop up some more cheaper Sats, and then you can put your stop loss right below these candlewick lows here at like 3,200. And you might be catching the bottom on this asset here, and you're trying to ride this puppy right up to that 200-day moving average at 546, 5,460. All right. Chris says just the good stuff, bro. All right, we'll take a look at ASI. Is that the ticker symbol? Is it on? I might have to just type it. Isn't ASI still under the ticker symbol Fetch AI? Like FET? I think I have to type in FET. Yeah, FET. I used to be in Fetch AI in 2024, and then I got out of it. So yeah, what is it FET? Okay, yeah. We'll take a look at FET. Oh, previous chart work. Oh my god, it's like a bunch of rainbow colors. It's looking like gay pride over here. Alright. Let me get rid of the moving averages too. So this is just so much here. What has Fetch AI does? So I got out of Fetch AI in 2024 because like this thing just it had its best days in 2024. It had its best days in March of 2024. I should have sold around there, but I didn't. This thing's been in a long-term downtrend since March of 2024. And I think this yellow line is still helpful for us to figure out when is Fetch AI going to break out of the downtrend. Let me just hide the Fibonacci for now. So you're still in the downtrend. You haven't broken out of it yet, but looks like maybe in October of this year, you might be able to break out. I mean, you could just break out just going sideways like you have been doing over the last few months here. And you'll eventually break out of this downtrend. It'll be weak. It won't be, you know, convincing. It'll be weak sauce just to go sideways. But hey, that's one way to do it. But yeah, Fetch AI looking not looking so good, not looking so hot, in my opinion. Just going sideways trading. The lows for the year, it looks like it was back here in April. You guys, lows like 34.5 cents here, so you kind of already doubled in price from the lows. And then the high for, I think, you know, this year or like the last few months, you got as high as like 99 cents. That's interesting. So as soon as it hit $1 or in that area, people started selling. Okay. Well, I have highlighted $1.40. I'm not sure why. Trying to see why. So $1.40 was a level that we were using as support and resistance. Resistance, support, resistance. So I would think $1.40 is a level to be looking out for as a long-term take profit target. And if it does that, you basically double your money. I would consider selling Fetch AI artificial super intelligence when you get up to $1.40. I think that's still a long-term take profit target to still be on the lookout for. And now let me go ahead and put on the Fibonacci here. And yeah, the Fibonacci, you know, measuring from the swing low here at 34 cents to the swing high at 99 cents, you got a 1618 saying that $1.39. $1.40 should be an area. So I think $1.40, that's going to be your target to the upside on Fetch AI. You also got the dollar. You see if you get back up to back up to 99 cents again, and you also got a 1272 at $1.16. I think when you get to $1.40, you should be clicking that sell button if you haven't done so by then. And I'm not sure if there's any downside target. Don't lose the low that you made here on September 1st at like 57 cents. You can put your stop loss at like 56 or 55 cents, somewhere in that area. And if Fetch AI goes lower than that, there might be something wrong with this thing. Probably don't want to stick around to find out. Kami is saying fetch to $3. And Kami thinks Fetch is great for short and long-term trades. And Kami wants to look at the CELR. Alright, let's take a look at the CELR. CELR. So I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Seller, I'm gonna say seller. It's currently trading at 6,524. Looking like an altcoin, definitely, in my opinion. Definitely, you know, you had your best days in December of last year, and you were trading at like roughly 3 cents. And let's see, how far down did you come down? Let's see. We just measure how much money can you lose in crypto, just buying near the top of December of last year, down to like where we are right now. Oh man, you lost like almost 80%, 78%. Anybody that bought here in December, they're hurting. Down 78% on their investment. They're still in it. Anyways, lower highs, lower high, lower high. However, fascinatingly to see that you're making higher lows here. So you got yourself kind of like a symmetrical triangle forming here. And you won't get much resolution until October or November. I mean, you can still go sideways going into like November, December, but you know, there's 3 ways you can get out of this. You can either go down, you can go up, or you can go sideways. But we should get some resolution around like October and November, because that's like the end of this consolidation period, supposedly. And I'm not sure why that's the case. Maybe it has something to do with the altcoin ETFs that could be getting approved in October next month. Maybe that's what causes this thing to actually cast some bids here. Let me turn on the moving averages now. Ooh, you are below most of the moving averages here. And the 2-day moving average is sitting at 0.007 pennies. That would be where I would expect some resistance. So, you know, if we come up again, we get knocked down off the 200-day moving average, come right back down, make another higher low, and just keep bouncing back and forth until we figure out what we're doing here for this symmetric triangle. But yeah, I see why not. Just buy here. You're buying the possibly another higher low here on this uptrend. And you're just going to take this up to the 2-day moving average and click sell. Because I bet you other people are going to click sell when it does get up to the 2-day moving average. And then you ride this puppy back down again, maybe one more time at like 6.5 cents. Create a higher low, and then try to ride this thing back up one more time. Duality C's in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. You got any requests? And let me just catch up on the chat here and YouTube. Steve is asking where John is from. John says he's from Canada. And Steve says he's from South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. Cool. Cool. They got people all over the place. Maybe got someone from England, the UK, watching this live stream right now. Yep. All right. Just catch up on the chat there. Chris, I think you've made almost all the requests. I gotta make sure I'm able to look at the requests for these other people that are in the chat here. And Duality says he's from Wyoming. Guys, if you want to stay in touch with me when I'm not on the live streams, you should check out the Meet Damien Discord. I have a free Discord here where you can see when I go live, okay? And people share their charts here. And sometimes I share my opinion about what could happen next. Share a little bit about my personal life here, and some of my trades that I'm in, okay? And to get onto the Discord channel on YouTube, you just gotta click the link in the description, and you'll see the Discord, the link there. And for my TikTok guys, go ahead and follow me if you haven't already, and then send me a message, and you can join me on the Discord channel here for Meet Damien. All right. Christian wants to look at the Near Protocol. We already looked at Near Protocol. I'll just quickly go over it one more time. And then Kami wants to look at ILV. And Chris, are you from Canada as well? Chris Cook? All right. Let's quickly go over Near Protocol here real quick. And is Bitcoin catching the bids? Because I see some green on the board here. Quickly look at we'll look at Near Protocol, and then we'll look at actually let's see what Bitcoin is doing right now. Bitcoin at 116,470. Ooh, okay. Nice. Catching those bids before the FOMC meeting. And I had a feeling that Bitcoin was going to go up today because there was so many people being bearish last night. So many people got discouraged. I was like, all right, so that's the low. And I guess we're going back up later on tomorrow, which would be today. And yeah, sure enough, here we are, going up today. All right, just confusing the crap out of people. Because that's all the market makers are doing right now. It's just confusing the crap and frustrating the crap out of people right now. But you can still play the game a little bit. You know, just do the opposite of whatever you think you're gonna do. So like if you're bearish, that probably means a good time to buy, and if you're bullish, it's probably a good time to sell. So I'm actually looking for Bitcoin. I'm looking to start doing some shorts when Bitcoin gets up to like 117K. Just head shorts, nothing with full conviction. I don't think Bitcoin is gonna drop down, but if it does, I want to be able to still make money if it does. All right, anyways, looking at Near Protocol. Near Protocol, $2.50 is your support zone. You got a lot of moving average supports there. Okay, would be good to see Near Protocol start making a higher high. It looks like you kind of made a lower high here on Saturday compared to the high here on August. And you are targeting $3.37, which is your target, your area that you made. The price that you got up to in May of 2025 here. And if you do that, you're looking for like a 25% gain on Near Protocol. Okay. And your stop loss, you put that right below the 50-day moving average, and I think you'll be fine. Somewhere like around like 245, maybe $2.45, and then put a stop loss if you want to be more conservative. Put it below the low here in September at like 227, so maybe like 226 or 225. And I think you'll be alright with Near Protocol. Alright, let's take a look at ILV. And YH is asking, is there any altcoins that are at 20x or more? If you're looking for a 20x at this point, you're probably going to have to stick to the meme coins. And you should listen to there was a guy here in the chat. He looked like HYX. Ask HYX which coin is going to 20x, because he knows his meme coins, and he says Hippo on the Sui ecosystem is going to do pretty well. So maybe that might be your altcoin you want to get into, is Hippo on the Sui blockchain. All right, Chris, we'll look at Jasmine and Phil. We already looked. We're getting like dual requests here, double requests. So like we've already looked at ICP, Phil. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the ILV for Kami, and then we'll look at Jasmine after that. ILV is currently trading at $14.78 right now. Okay. Above the 2-day moving average, and you already had a deep retracement. I bet you if I measured out the Fibonacci, this is probably near the 0.236 retracement. But it's very good to see that you're above the 2-day moving average. You're above almost all the moving averages right now. And you're treating, I mean, yeah, you came down, you overshot a little bit here. But the 50-day did act as support, and 100-day acted as support. I like what I'm seeing here, and you're still making higher lows. ILV, I'm liking what I'm seeing in the chart already, before I even dig deeper into it. Looks like the lows for the year came in on June 22nd. Higher low here, possibly another higher low here. You got the impulse move out of nowhere in August, where you shot above the 200-day moving average. And let me go ahead and just do that Fibonacci now. So you're kind of hanging out near that 0.236 retracement. All right, so you already got the deep retracement at near $14.86. And you're targeting, at the very least, a normal retracement will put you back at the 618 at $19.80 and $20. Okay, so this is a level to be looking out for on ILV. And if ILV continues being bullish and goes past what it did here in August, you got a 1272 at $28. That's a double in price from where we are right now. And you got a 1618 at $32. Very nice pick there, Kami. Nicely done. I like it. And let's see, this 1618 is confluent with some of the prices that you're at back here in November of 2024. We have seen 30, 32 bucks in the past. So the people over here that bought in October and November of last year, they're probably going to want to click the sell button just to break even if they're still in this asset here. So I think 32, 34 bucks, good area to get out of ILV. You basically doubled your money at that point. All right, we'll go ahead and take a look at Jasmy coin. Sure. And I think I'm getting ready to close out the live stream. We'll take a look at Bitcoin on the way out. But I think that's going to be my last request. Oh, and then Phil did ask about ICP. I guess we can look at ICP one more time after Jasmy here. And then, yeah, then we'll look at the Bitcoin on the way out. Let's see, Jasmy. Let's see, on the Coinbase. Jasmy on Coinbase, currently trading at almost a penny and a half here. Like a lot of altcoins out there, the best days that it saw was December of last year. Such great memories. But yeah, bottom out here in April at about a penny. Created a higher low here on June 22nd after the bombs in Iran and Israel and stuff like that. Looks like you're trying to make another higher low here, but you got a downtrend, so you're gonna have to probably worry about here. You know, the bears, they're gonna try to make the case that this is a lower high, and anything else, if it doesn't get above what we did here in August, is just gonna be another lower high. Okay. You know, you're also contending with trying to flip the 200-day moving average from resistance into support. But yeah, you got some proving to do here. You're below the 200-day moving average right now, so I have to be bearish until you get above it. And once you get above it, you want to stay above it. Start using it as support instead of resistance. And then I think that will trigger the trading bots and professional investors out there to become more bullish on Jasmy. They'll start pouring more money once we get above that 2-day moving average, sitting at about a penny and a half right now. So do that, and then you can see better days for Jasmy here. All you gotta do is get above a penny and a half. And then, of course, you got to start making higher lows and higher highs, and you got to get above the high here in August at roughly 2 pennies. Get back to 2 pennies, and people get excited about Jasmy again. And I'm going to turn on the VRVP now as I start to zoom out, see what the upside targets might be for Jasmy. You got a point of control, that blue line. High volume node at 2 cents. So 2 cents going to be like a big boss level for you to get past. Once you get past that level, then the volume starts to drop off on the VRVP. You got a little bit of resistance at like 0.023 pennies. Also a little bit of resistance at 2.5 pennies. And then another gap, and then maybe like some more resistance at 0.028. But you don't really got the much resistance after that until you get to the value area high, sitting about like 3 pennies, 0.032 pennies here. So I would start using the VRVP to help you figure out, you know, when you should start selling. But as of now, let's plan on selling something here at 2 pennies, and then selling some more at 0.023, and then some more at 3 pennies. All right, I'm glad you enjoyed the live stream there, Chris. And you rock as well, bro. Thank you for all those requests. You keep me busy over here. Let's look at ICP for Phil, and then we're going to finish off with Bitcoin, and that's going to be it for today. Did almost like a 2-hour live stream here. Alright, so we have looked at the ICP. And previous chart work here. Looks like we had a falling wedge here. We broke out of it, but it was very weak sauce in my opinion. We didn't really do a vigorous breakout. ICP currently trading at $4.71. Let me get rid of the VRVP for now. Let's see. You could possibly be creating a double bottom here at like 459. And you're targeting, for now, you're targeting the 200-day moving average at 528 for the day traders, short-term swing traders here. I have highlighted some levels to look out for to the upside. $5.48 was the level that was acting as resistance, and some support. Then also $6.32 is the level that we got up to here, back here in June and March of this year. So I think for now, you're targeting 2-day moving average at 528, then 548, and then you're also targeting $6.32 for ICP to the upside. And we'll just take it one level at a time. Ask me about this asset again when we actually get up to $6, and then we can start talking about higher price targets. Okay. But for now, ICP has some work it needs to do. It's got a lot of proving to do here. At the very least, you know, try to get above that 2-day moving average, and then we can start become more bullish on this asset. But right now, you can put your stop loss right below the lows at like $4.59 here. Keep it really tight. Not really risking that much to be in this asset. All right, let's go ahead and finish off on Bitcoin. I'll give you my thoughts here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is catching the bids at $116,500, up $1,000 today, up 1%. And the level that I'm eyeballing for Bitcoin as we start going to higher prices is, first, can we get above what we did here on Friday at $116,833? Let's start making higher highs here. We actually did get above. We got $160,940. Damn it. I was on the live stream here with you guys, and I could have put a short. Because I do want to short Bitcoin when it gets up to 117K. It's just a hedge in case this ends up being a lower high here. Because we had Bitcoin, you know, get rejected off of 117.4K here around August 22nd here. And that 117.4K was acting as support, which could now act as resistance in the future. So I'm looking to short Bitcoin anywhere between kind of like where we are right now to 117.4K. I'm probably going to wait for higher prices, and then I'll start shorting Bitcoin. But I'm going to just put my stop loss really tight. I usually put stop losses on Bitcoin about $300 to $400, sometimes $500 away from where the price is at. So if I short at 117,400, I'm probably going to put the stop loss at 117,900 or 118,000. And if Bitcoin can get up to 118,000, then I'm probably not going to short. I'm going to see how far we go as we push up into 120K or 100 or maybe new all-time highs. But if we go up to new all-time highs at like 124,500, I'm going to try to re-enter another short. I'm going to be looking for shorts again on Bitcoin if we get up to that level. If we get rejected off 117,400, I'm looking to see if Bitcoin comes down and gets some support off the 50-day moving average at 112,800. Or even get some more support off the 100-day moving average at 109K. But these are the levels to be looking for. Like if I enter the short right here and we come down, I'm going to be taking profit at 112,800 if I can. And taking more profit at 109K on my short. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll try to go live around the same time. I think the Federal Reserve they do their decision around like 2 o'clock. So maybe I go live at like 1 o'clock, and we'll go live from like 1 to 3 p.m. right after the Federal Reserve gets done with their interest rate decision. We'll see how the markets are doing. But that's going to be it for today. Big day tomorrow, guys. Make sure you come in to the Meet Damien live stream here, and we'll try to watch what the prices are doing while the Federal Reserve is letting us know what they're doing with interest rates here. In the meantime, you know, I would say keep your leverage small and your positions small, because the volatility is going to do pretty much whatever work you need to do to try to make your P&L, your profit for today. You don't really have to do much for leverage trading on a week where you already get a lot of volatility. But yeah, guys, good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll plan on going live 1 p.m. Okay, 1 p.m. Eastern time, East Coast time. Take care, guys.